Hello everyone, it is Lawrence from Express Unity here, and today we're going to just be mucking around a little bit with syncing of our variables some more. So this time I think what we'll be doing is getting our username to synchronize across several players. Well, I've been just looking at the game and seeing how it's turned out and progressing so far. I think I've kind of got a basic idea of how I want the game to play out. So basically it's going to be, if you've ever played Counter-Strike Source or Counter-Strike Global Offensive, there's a game mode called Death From. So this is kind of a little twist of that, where basically I'm going to have these cubes that'll damage the player. And these will be all walls along the map, right? And there's going to be power-ups to speed players up or give them certain abilities. And the whole objective is basically the first one to the end wins. So they're only two-player games, and the abilities can do stuff like knock back or knock to the side, so that you can try and force someone to damage themselves on these walls. So let's go ahead and open our MP Manager script. Okay. So we have our that's not where I did it. It's in here. Okay. So on our player, we're gonna want a new public text. And we'll call this user text. We're also gonna want a. We'll put this above everything else. We're also gonna want a private. No, sorry. We'll put this where all our other private stuff is, and this public. I'm just gonna do a bit of organizing. Public can go there, and then in here it will be private string, and we'll call this one username. Alrighty, so in our, let's see how we can do this. So our player spawns here. Before that, we log in. So in our multiplayer manager, we're also going to want to make a private string username. This, of course, is probably not the best way to do it, but it gets the job done. So private string username, and then actually, you know what? No, I think private is no. Yeah, we need to make this one public. Public string username, and in play fab auth, what we want to do is get a public reference to our multiplayer manager. We'll just call it MP, and then when we are we already referenced it. Isn't that great? Okay, so in here, what we want to do is MP, and we can do it above before we connect to the server. We can do mp.username, and we can set it equal to user.text. So, I mean, someone could technically go ahead and change this with like cheat engine, and in this case the username would be different. So you could also do, I believe, result dot if I can, there's, I thought there was a result payload dot, no, it's there is a way in the result to get the username of the player. Stands for user, needs some requests. No. They have ID, but nope. Anyway, you're gonna have to just play around with the API for that one. See, I don't think. Anyway, we'll stick with user.text for now. Just take note that doing this isn't really secure if you want to keep people's username the same as what they log in with, because someone can easily change it doing this. It's better to get the result username, which you can do. I just need to remind myself how I did it in my previous game. So we can come back to this a bit later on. But for now, this should work fine. It's a small multiplayer game. We're not really worrying about anyone hacking us for now. We just want to get the game working. Okay, so now that we have that, it should set this public username, and then when we spawn the player, another thing we might do in this video is make actual spawn points for the player. So we want to do player.getComponent, and we want to get a player script, and the username, I set it to private, didn't I? Yep. Okay, we're going to want to make it public, and the username, username equals username. Okay, so that's all good. Now this will set on your side. No one else will be able to see this, but for now, let's go ahead and do a few things to our player. So in resources, drag our player out. Yeah, we already have our health there. Let's go. We actually already had a player out in the scene, so let's just delete that. So in our canvas, let's go ahead and create, actually, let's just copy, paste that text and move it above. What we can do actually, let's make this a little more pretty. Let's call this health, and let's make the main color a red. And this can be username. Let's let's align the health to the top, and let's set it to best fit. It should shrink down a bit like that, just to make the username seem like a big deal. So we'll just do username up there. We'll also make this best fit so that if someone's username is really long, instead of it cutting off like that, it'll just scale it. Alrighty, so on our player we have this public user text. So we want to drag the text that we just created in there and apply that. So if we log in and spawn, we should see our username, which is rand, and then join or create. There we go. So wait, that's not our actual username. Awkward. So you want to go into, let's see, the start, and because our username is being set when the player spawns, let's go ahead and in photon.isMine, user text equals username. There we go. Okay, so that should work now. So rand, log in, join create, rand. Okay, So our username is is working with us. However, if we put another player in there, it's not actually going to synchronize correctly. So what we can do now is this username string here. If we go to our on photon serialized view, we want to stream.send next, and we want to send our username. And then underneath this, we want to do username equals to string, and that will be stream.receive next. Alrighty, so now in here, just trying to think. You know what? I think because this is being set for everyone, we'll leave that there. Here, let's use the text equal to username. Doing it like this should send it to everyone. Not sure, I can't remember if I sent an RPC call. I don't think we need to because we're doing this, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and build and run. I don't, like, sometimes my Unity builds the application, sometimes it doesn't. It's really weird. Alrighty, so in windowed mode, alright, left screen can be the test user, and right screen can be the random user. Trying to create, we have tests on this, trying to create, there we go. That's working pretty well. So now we have the working username, and our health should still work. Oh wait, we set that to a trigger, didn't we? So that's all working fine. Let's go ahead and create some spawn points now. So let's see how we can do this. Now, I think for now, we'll make it random between 2 points, but eventually what we're going to want to do is see if 1 point is occupied by another player. Excuse me. If it is, then we want to simply spawn the player on another point, because we don't want players stacking. Even though it's going to be only a 2-player game per map or per instance, we still don't want players stacking. So yeah. So let's go ahead. In the multiplayer manager, let's create an empty, and why is that? Where is the multiplayer manager? Oh, that's why we can't see it. So reset the position of that, and let's drag that over here. Now in Unity, if you click this colored box here on the game object, a drop down will come up for a few icons you can select. So the bottom ones are basically just little symbols that can help you identify stuff, and then the top ones will actually have the wording of what your game object is. So let's go ahead and choose like a yellow, and then let's call this spawn point 1, and copy another one and call that 2, and move that over there. Okay, and we'll just extend this. Oops, extend this a bit like that. Alright, so one other thing that we probably should do now is actually move our camera to the player so that we can actually move around and see what we're doing. So let's do that. So on photon is mine in the update function. Let's create a new vector 3, call it cam pose, and equal that to camera.main.gameObject. Or you could do the transform, and then dot position, like so. And then what we want to do is camera.main.transform.position equals vector3.ler. And before we continue, let's create a public vector3 up here, and we'll call it cam offset. Alright. And just to make things a little simpler, we'll also make another one called p-pose for player position, and we'll just simply do transform.position. Okay, so in the lerp, the first thing we want to do is cam pose. We want to get our first position of the camera, where it is, and then we want to create a new vector 3, and in here we will do cam pose.x, cam pose.y, cam pose.z. Now, for now, let's create a new float like 0.4f for it to lerp, and then we also want to do plus cam offset.x plus cam offset.y and plus cam offset.z. Now remember, because this is in the photon.isMine area, this code is only going to execute on your local client. So if this was outside of this code, what's going to happen is basically every single player in the scene is going to be fighting over who owns the camera. And that's not something that you want to show people, having the camera zip back and forth between players. Alrighty, so what we can do now, so our default position for the camera is -10 and 1. So in the cam offset we'll do -10, and let's just make the Y 2, so it's a little higher. Okay, so if we save that and play, excuse me, let's go ahead and join an instance and see that the camera doesn't work. Great. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Why is the camera not tagged? If it says this, check if your camera is tagged. You want to tag it with main camera, because that is the default tag that works for camera.main. Basically, camera.main always references the camera in your scene that is tagged with main. Okay, so that should work, hopefully. So test 1 to 3. Okay, it works, but zooming out a lot. Goodness. Hold on a second. I think I may have done this the wrong way around. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Instead, times that vector by cam offset. Nope, doesn't want to work. Oh, so plus it. Okay. Hopefully that works. It's always the simple code that doesn't work as intended. You think you know it, but then you don't. Alright. Log in, trying to create. Yeah, kind of saw that one coming. Okay. just getting it the wrong way around. I'll just quickly test that out. As you can tell, these videos are completely unplanned, unprepared for just stuff. It's just, we have a go at it, really. You're learning with me. And, okay. Don't know why I thought that was gonna work. If plus didn't work, okay. Trust into position. Isn't that not time? Isn't it that time that delta time, isn't it? I know it's gonna be something simple. Something so very simple. No, just still slowly moving away. Interesting. I made a 2D controller literally like yesterday with a camera like this, and it's amazing when you forget the simple things. Okay, let's remove that for now. Let's put that in there for now. I'm just going to quickly have a check over the script I made yesterday. If I can even find that. Alrighty. Guess we're gonna have to figure it out. So, camera.main, transformer position. Low. That all works. Oh. Hold on. I'm a little, just a little silly here. We don't want to lerp to the camera position. We want to lerp to ourselves. It's actually what we did here. What do you guys probably just noticed that? I'm like, what are you doing? You've got the variable right there. Spent 10 minutes figuring out. So those are simple things, like I said. Alright, so now plussing that by camera offset shouldn't make us zoom out. Alright, sorry about that. It's always the simple little things. So test 23, log in, try to create. Alrighty. Camera is following a little bit slow, but that is easily fixed. Let's go ahead and make it just a bit higher, maybe like we'll make it way higher. We'll go for a 5. And let's just rotate the camera down. And we'll see how that goes. Alrighty. It's looking pretty good so far. Still a bit slow, but simple fix. Just maybe go for, just put 2 there. We can make a variable for how fast we want the camera to move, but I mean, I don't really think it's something I'm ever going to go back to. But if you're actually like planning on making like a proper multiplayer game out of this to release somewhere, then yeah, you're gonna want to do all this properly. There we go. Faster, more snappier. Working great. Alrighty. So now that we got that simple problem fixed, that should not have taken us like what, 5-10 minutes to figure out that it was just a spelling error. Let's go ahead and do our spawn points. This video is probably going on longer than it should, but oh well, things happen. So let's go ahead and anything parented to the multiplayer manager is going to be a spawn point. So instead of us having to drag and drop all our spawn points constantly, let's go ahead and create a private list of game objects, and we'll call them spawn points, and it will be equal to a new list of game objects. Now, new list of game objects. Now in the void start, what we want to do is for each transform, call it child in game object transform, and we simply want to do spawn points dot add, and we want to add child.game object. Now this has no checks whatsoever, so you can add any gamer object in here and it's going to add it as a spawn point. So if you want to add checks to it, like getting a spawn point tag or a layer or something like that, then you can go ahead and do that. But I know that the only thing that I'm parenting onto the multiplayer manager is my spawn points, so I'm not going to bother doing any of that. So for now, for our spawn position, let's go ahead and let's do let's do a new vector 3. We'll call it pos equal to spawn points random dot range 0, and then we want to do spawn points dot count to get how many is in the array, and then dot transform dot position. Okay, and then replace our vector 3.0 with our position. So that should now spawn us randomly between these 2 points. Again, no logic, so it's not going to check whether there's a player there or not, but we can test if it works, and it does. We are right on the edge. Let's go ahead and move the spawn points up a touch, and let's create a little bit of a level. Let's actually create a new empty because I don't want it to be too messy. Let's call it underscore map. Oh, did I create an empty inside everyone? Yes, I did. Alright, go ahead, put the cubes in the map. Drag it, be like that. Yeah. And we'll just grab all of these, copy them, and drag it on the other side. And then let's make it maybe a little bit trickier, really thin here. And then we can have like a green cube in the corner here that the player needs to touch. But for now, that's our basic level. Let's go ahead and close that. Also, for those wondering, this is not optimized at all. If you wanted to make a map like this, I'd go into Blender and create like a wall or something like that. But